Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this is Bipolar Brilliance. And if you can't tell by the visuals, it is, or if you're not catching the visuals, it is close to the end of the Gregorian calendar year. And for some people, that means an opportunity to start anew, to start afresh. Do you make resolutions? Some people really poo-poo them, and other people make a gazillion resolutions every year that they really don't keep. I think I fall somewhere in the middle, kind of like that whole bipolar balance spectrum. So I have been on both sides of that, but mainly I'm a resolutioner, and I'm not ashamed about it because it has worked for me. And what I definitely want to share in a word is, one, don't do what I did and be a total perfectionist about it. And if you didn't do the thing on January 1st or the 3rd or whatever, then just give up on it until the next year. Because every single day and any moment of every day, we can choose to refresh, reboot, and begin again. And I feel like that almost sounds cliche, but the first time that I heard that, it was kind of a whoa, kind of an aha. And the other thing is that if it's a really big change, it's not necessarily going to happen overnight. But it isn't so much about when, but if, which is not like an excuse to procrastinate, but just to give oneself grace. A cliche that was a real mind-blowing thing to me when I first heard it was on January 1st, 2017, when I attended my first group recovery meeting of a certain variety, and people told me, one day at a time, just for today. See, I was trying to quit drinking alcohol, and I had tried a lot of different things, but it was always like swearing it off for life, and that was just way too overwhelming for me. And so these people that I met, many of whom had quit what was for them, for myself, a very addictive substance for years, just for today, just one day at a time. So, and just like that, it's been 3.5 years or so since I haven't drank or done any other drugs outside of those prescribed to me by a care provider, and even those which may have potential for abuse, used as directed and responsibly. So I didn't actually quit drinking for good though on January 1st of that year. It took me all the way until August to quit for good, but especially the other stuff. And so if I had just, I did struggle with that perfectionism of like, oh, the date. Sometimes the stars align. I did end up choosing a different significant moment for myself, which was August 22nd of 2017, and there was a solar eclipse. And so that is also apropos to what is happening the day that I'm creating this, which is December 21st, 2020, and there's a pretty rare planetary alignment going on. And so you might wish to set an intention, resolution, a goal, a prayer, a hope, today, this day. But again, it can happen in any moment, in any day, and it doesn't always happen just like that. Back in 2011, I set another resolution. That was one that I had set multiple times, which was to quit smoking. But that year, I finally did it. And I honestly don't even know my exact quit date. It was sometime in early mid-February. So I usually say like February 15th. Hey, maybe I could say the 14th. It's Valentine's Day. Because I know that I had my last cigarette by then. I used the Chantix and the gum personally, and so it was one of those things where like I gradually, thankfully, the desire gradually left me because I wanted to quit, but I was so addicted to the nicotine. And so, but eventually it just, like it worked. The way it worked is it made me feel queasy when I had nicotine or cigarettes. So, you know, days and days and days would go without smoking until one day I said, oh geez, gosh, I haven't smoked in over a week, and I guess I had my last cigarette. And then there was a commitment to stick to that. So that was almost 10 years ago. I made a resolution, and actually, because I had like failed or succeeded for a little bit here and there, and like struggle with that whole all or nothing, which I talk about in other videos, I said, okay, I know this isn't going to be my quit date, but I am going to quit this year and as soon as possible. So I guess to try to bring it home, because this video is getting a little long, is famous last words, is I think a lot of people like to think of any excuse to have a new beginning, especially after this year that we have had. Not everybody uses the Gregorian calendar or whatever this thing is called that we use. It's arbitrary, right? There are other calendars in use, plenty of other calendars even to this day. So maybe this doesn't mean much, but I think whatever is a moment to stop and reflect where we've come and where we are and where we'd like to go is good. Whether that is, you know, when the stars align, or when it's a new moon or a full moon or your birthday. I often do it at the birthday or the beginning of the week or the month or the turning of the year. So, but that, you know, it could be any time. It's more about, I feel like it's like the decision that we make and then the grace that we give ourselves, that it doesn't, a big major change can be really difficult, and sometimes we have setbacks and slips. Side note, quitting smoking and quitting alcohol and other drugs were like 2 of 3 of the whatever, however you want to count it, just the very best things that I could have done to manage my mood. So I will talk more about that in other videos, I'm sure. That was a whole nother journey for me, because I definitely got my bipolar diagnosis and got on medications and got like stabilized prior to quitting that stuff. And also at the same time, I think I would have like gotten stable way earlier if I had quit those things, and very much related, if I had actually been honest, fully honest with my care providers about that. So my other PS, I guess, is just the idea of you don't have to be fully out there honest with everybody about everything, but it really helps to be able to be totally honest with at least one person that you trust about the things, especially if you have a mood disorder. Because guess what? When they ask you every month, but this when they would ask, you know, how much do you drink? Oh, a little bit here and there, you know, a little bit of pot, you know. It was BS. That didn't really help them to help me. So when I finally started to be really honest, at least with my therapist, who spoke with my psychiatrist, it made a big difference. And it actually got, like, I got much more helpful help. Because it's really hard for people to help you fully when they don't really know what's going on. And they're there to help. They're not there to arrest us or judge us. And if they are, then they suck and you should find someone else to go to. Rambling on now. I'm not a doctor, by the way. None of this, of course, should be construed as medical advice. I'm a person in long-term recovery with co-occurring disorders, to include bipolar disorder, ADHD, and SUD. And I'm grateful for you tuning in here. I strive here to be a voice for those who may not have a voice, and to speak not only to people who are living through bipolar or other mood disorders, mental illness, but also for family and friends and loved ones to just try to get a little glimpse into what it's like to live and even, yes, to thrive with these super stigmatizing things that people just are afraid to talk about. So, if you liked this, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel to reach other people. Make sure you subscribe, turn your alerts on, and watch out for new videos, and share this widely and often. Take care of yourselves and each other. May the stars align for you today and every day. Be well.